ghouls, goblins, and ghosts from all over the underworld. Welcome back to Hell's Gates of Pareidolia. James here again, and two things in mind. One, Fat 60 that the opponent is on, and two, with his hand, literally unplayable. Set a back row, set a monster, and pass. Junk Sleep. Set 5 and pass. Set Tears in the Hidden City. Drew and pass. Set a monster and pass. Okay, finally, we got a playable monster. Normal Lady Medusa. Junk Sleep. Ah, the jars. Aroma Jar, we all know what's up with it. Morphing Jar number 2. Upon flip, shuffle all monsters everywhere on the field. Then each player excavates cards from the top of their deck until they excavate the same number of monsters shuffled back into the main deck. Special all excavated level 4 or lower monsters in face down defense. Also send everything else, that is the remaining cards, to the grave. 3 monsters to 1. Also, Absorbing Jar. Destroy all set spell traps everywhere on the field. Then each player draws 1 card for each of the cards they control that was destroyed by this effect. You cannot set any cards this turn. Honestly, I'd so take that trade offer any day of the week. Absorbing Jar, Morphing Jar number 2. Chain Imperm on Aroma Jar to turn off the Junk Sleeps and face effect. 3 monsters to 1. Lady Medusa shuffle back. Trade-off is Master Duel ended up being face down defense. Now, 3 monsters in terms of jars. Let's see if we can hit 3 monsters in terms of level 4 or lower of any kind. Pot of Avarice. Disrupted Daruma Karma Cannon. Okay, scary card. Pot of Duality. Wabaku. The Shallow Grave. As an old card, each player targets 1 monster in their own graveyard. Each player special summons the target from their graveyard in face down defense. Gravity Bind. Level 4 or higher monsters cannot attack. Pot of Desires. The Shallow Grave once again. Feather Duster. That's 1. Absorbing Jar. Jar of Greed. Draw 1. Uh-oh. Falsadina. For which, by the way, will be at 1 when it comes to later on this week at the time recording that the ban list just happened. Dice Jar. Both players roll a 6-sided die. The player with the lower result ends up taking damage to their opponent's roll times 500. However, if the winner rolled a 6, the loser takes 6,000 damage. If the rolls are the same, both players roll again. Absorbing Jar, Falsadina, and Dice Jar. And based off from this new hand now, this basically fixes everything on the follow-up. Set 2, Awakening for Lady Medusa, Evil Eye of Selene on Lady Medusa, and Lady Medusa happens to have a secret effect which literally never comes up. The case is, aside from being hooked up with Evil Eye of Selene, of course, as a quick effect, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. Basically, Medusa happens to be DD Crow. Oh, when it comes to terrors in the Hidden City, first off, flip face up, and it makes it so that Falsadina is even more buff, for starters. And more importantly, anybody that was special summoned all this time, once Falsadina was flip face up, it pretty much blows up all special summon monsters everywhere on the field. And if you're wondering, how is Lady Medusa alive all this time? It's the Evil Eye of Selene. Can't be killed by battle or your opponent's card effects. Also, anti-target from the opponent. Lady Medusa, DD Crow, the Falsadina. Selene, spill some blood, and pass. Lady Medusa, banish the call by. Spill more blood, set 1. Lady Medusa, DD Crow the Dice Jar. Spill even more blood. Lady Medusa, banish Imperm. Confrontation, kill off and banish Junk Sleep. Tendangle Angel. Upon flip, special 1 flip monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense that isn't Tendangle Angel. Then, if it is your opponent's battle phase, end the battle phase. But the thing is, good thing we got Forbidden Chalice to cover that out the way. I believe special summon Basilius. Basilius Foolishing the Reemergence. Set and pass. Basilius, toss out Gorgonio. Was the hit Jar Turtle. Each time Jar of Greed is activated, draw 1. Switch Basilius to defense and pass. Set a monster and pass. Basilius, toss out Unleashed. Aroma Jar this time. Okay, so that pesky Jar may have saved you from battle immunity. Lady Medusa, DD Crow, the Absorbing Jar. Link off the 2 into Gorgon. Unleashed. Hook it up with Gorgonio. Selene, reset button. Negate the Aroma Jar. Hook it up. No monster on site that's being pointed at. Set. Flip up Imperm to turn off the life point gain. Top decks Parade Dolia. for Master Duel. Normal, the said Duel for repose. Activate. June to Basilius. Oh boy. Morphing Jar. Upon flip, both players discard as many cards as possible from their hands, then each player draws 5. Morphing Jar mandatory, and then repose, banish Morphing Jar. 2 Pot of the Forbiddens, and with this new hand now, that still fixes everything. Basile Triss. Unchained Abomination. Evil Eyes Unleashed. Toss out the 2 for Celine. Set. Abomination. Kill off the terrors. Stave off even more blood. And when it comes to Pot of the Forbidden face down, level 9, Earth Rock Flip Effect. 2000 attack, 3000 defense. Upon flip, perform one of those effects. Hard once on Pot of the Forbidden. Draw 2, Pot of Greed. Return all spell traps everywhere on the field to the hand. Giant Trunade. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Raigeki. Look at your opponent's hand. Also, shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck. Literally, triple tactics talent on the 3rd side effect. Aroma Jar. Gain some life points. Set. Flip up Pot of the Forbidden. Solemn Judgment. Abomination. Lord! Didn't see that coming. Set 2. Crash into each other between Lord and Abomination. Normal Duel. There's the Jar Greed, of course. No trigger. Defeat. Kick it back. Gorgonio. Gorgonio, hook up Sergio, and then Celine on Sergio, so that I was not allowed to dish out the last bit of the life points, and then it was going to be lethal. And of course, the pot/jar player is no longer valuable items.